Can you record? There you go. Thank you. Okay. I, for one, really liked this week. It was a lot of intensities of week 3. And before I get started, we're recording now, let's hear from some of you about catching up. We finished week 3, and what that means is that if you're doing the homework assignments, like I went to see a friend of mine who's on the call today, Letitia Taylor from San Francisco, went to her house, sat and worked with her. And one of the things I noticed is she had literally stacks of paper for each of the weeks on her dining room table, and the homework assignments being filled out in writing, so that she could work on them. And she's super computer techie, so she really knows how to do it online if she wants to do the editable PDFs. But I like that she wakes up and she can go into her dining room and start looking at the assignments and what video is next and things like that. Everybody has their own methods, and nobody gets to tell you if your methods are good, bad, right, or wrong. They're up to you whether or not you want to do it that way. But frankly, the number one thing you should be learning from this course is your habits. I mean, this is self-driven, and you're going to you need to pay very close attention to your excuses, to your procrastination, to all of that. And so we're at the end of week 3. There's been a lot of homework assignments. Week 3 had several downloads, and and it's building now. One of the things I noticed about this week that I really wanted to bring to your attention is it's building on the other 2 weeks. Like they're referencing documents that you downloaded for other courses, the previous videos. Let's stop and hear from you guys. What are you experiencing? Where are you frustrated, and where are you excited? And has anybody done anything with any of this such that you might have created a lead or a transaction? Let's talk about all that stuff right now. Who wants to go? Just yell out.
Hey, okay. Morning, Rick.
Hi, Ryan. How are you, buddy?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you.
So this week with the talk of the top 50 in your sphere, that really resonated with me because I haven't been using my own database that much.
Right.
And I took an initiative and reached out to a lot of people, set up a lunch, and now it looks like I might be listing my friend's $1 million home.
Somebody write that down. Oh my God.
Yeah. And he wants to buy a $1.5 million home up in Cardiff. So like, talk about just sitting there in my phone, actual, people, and here we are.
Oh my God. I got chills right now, Ryan. So talk to me about you didn't have any idea about his desire to purchase. He was one of the people that you just reached out to, set up a coffee date. And
old coworker before I joined real estate. And I knew he was sitting on a lot of equity. So like in the back of my mind, I knew he was a good person to reach out to. But
wow.
I used to be in construction. I scheduled a job site tour so I could just get out in front of him and see what he's doing and, really put the spotlight on him. And then he started talking about how his wife wanted to move and how he was thinking about selling and curious what his home's worth, and just really just snowballed.
Yeah. And guys, for everybody else on the call, that's not a fluke. The reason we have a top 50 is because it's worked for years. Okay. I'm going to ask Gina to put in the chat a link to the top 50 booklet that we have. I don't think it was mentioned in there. They had you do a top 50 initiatives download and a top 50 tracker, right? I didn't see anything where they had the booklet, but Gina's going to put the booklet in the link right now. So get it from the link right here in Gina, you can do that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. She's so amazing. So when you do that, it's 36 pages long. And I love that Ryan raised his hand and said that, because that's the thing that starts to change. Is sometimes the action, right, creates the belief. Sometimes you have the belief before the action. But guess up right now about what Ryan's level of the belief in the top 50 is. Right?
Very high.
Yeah, very high. And guess what? this guy is going to be number one on his top 50 list, but he's going to start listing those top 50. And we have to remember that the main purpose of the top 50 is the 50 people who are most likely to give you one referral this year. Okay. That's how you look at it. So Ryan, thanks for starting us off. Have you done other calls and in-person visits?
I've done a few other calls and text messages because for my sphere, texting is a little bit more common.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to schedule a few more like lunch appointments or,
coffees.
Exactly.
Good. Yeah. So what I loved is Paul Sessom said a phone call, a note, and a meal or a coffee, one each every day. Right. So if you're going to be doing those kinds of things for your top 50, that's a nice, I loved it because it's a nice, consistent little bunch of stuff you could do that you can start scheduling out. Right. And nobody's going to declare you wrong if you have a coffee in the morning and a coffee in the afternoon and a lunch in the middle or a meal. I like doing the coffees, guys, because first of all, I'm very big on watching costs. Okay. And if I do a lunch, I like to do that with somebody that I already kind of get that they could send me a lot of referrals, right? And I'm not asking you to be cheap, but I'm asking you to be frugal and careful about your costs. You could do a couple of coffees in a day. You could even squeeze in 3 coffees in a day. And then that night, write them a handwritten note for visiting with them, right? And then maybe to 2 other sphere members, do a phone, top 50 members, do a phone call and a handwritten note, right? So you can ramp this up any way you want and have really more tremendous results. And it's really cool, Ryan. Thank you so much for raising your hand. Now, I think there was other people, so just speak if I can't see your raised hand. Who else had a hand up that want to share with me just your experience, whether you got
I wanted to share something.
Yeah. Hey, Randall.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm
Ryan, that's
amazing.
great that you got that listing, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's kind of the same thing I did. I actually kind of called my friend, and he ended up buying the $1 million house. And I put his that was 2 weeks ago, before I actually got this training. But I was just kind of thinking, maybe I should call my friends, my spheres, so I can totally relate with Ryan.
Good job.
And now what he just said and what the training did, I thought it was a fluke. You said the word fluke just now. Yeah. I thought me calling my friend a couple of weeks ago was a fluke, and then the training came. I'm like, oh crap, I should be doing this on a daily basis. Okay, let's add that to the repertoire now. But what I wanted to bring up was a frustration that I kind of been having. Dude, I'm probably the only one on this call. I haven't finished my business plan. It's just like every time I get down and want to do it, it's like daunting to me. Like it's just, and I just want to say, I know it's important, but it's one of the things that's keep kicking my butt every week. So yeah, that's my whole thing there.
Randall, if I was there in front of you, whether you would let me or not, I'd still freaking hug you. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not even going to embarrass the rest of the people on the call, but you know how many of them in their mind going, I thought it was only me. There's at least 15 people on here who look at Ryan nodding over there. I'm with you, brother. So here's what I want to tell you guys. This is just so you know, some of you get on my free Friday coaching call. Some of you don't. It's okay. Those are for people from all companies. It's free. On our next call, those are always on the first and third Fridays. The call on the October 1st, we are going to do the whole hour on the business plan workbook. Okay. So all you need to do, Randall, awesome. Seriously, Randall, if you don't have it done by then, all you need to do is bring the workbook to the call. Gina, can you put the link for the free Friday coaching call in there? If you guys email my assistant, Gina, she'll add you to the email for the free Friday coaching call. It has nothing to do with any other email list I have. We don't do recruiting on there. We don't do selling. Nobody mentions company. There's people from all companies. It's just a call to, it's my way of giving back to the real estate community. And believe it or not, I learn a lot from it, and it drives me because I don't like to be the guy that's full of crap telling people to do things and not do them myself. All right. So it's a really fun call. So get on that day. The whole hour is going to be on how to do a great job of filling it out. Okay. Does that help, Randall?
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. And I
Glad I
hope
brought it
all
up.
of you, I hope all of you will be there. Jump on. It's going to be just a solid hour on that. So Gina put the link in the group, and you guys can link. And she also put the top 50 booklet PDF in there, so you can download that. Just click on all that stuff now, guys, and it'll open up in your computer and you'll have it saved. Okay. All right. Debbie, I think you raised your hand. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was a little behind in getting started because I was getting through the end of my COVID career.
Right.
And so I just started week 2, like at the beginning of this week, and the business plan was overwhelming for me, but I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do. So I was able to get through that. But the lead tracker, I've got like 200 leads from this source, 25 from this source. I've got my database of 400, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to enter all of that onto a spreadsheet.
Okay, well, wait a minute. You have an SOI tracker, sphere of influence. That's separate than a lead tracker.
And
So
that's separate, yeah.
yeah. So yes, isn't it? And you've been successful in the business, and it's so moving to me that with your success, you're on these calls. You're always on the Free Friday coaching call, and you're always on this. So it's even more refreshing to hear at your level of experience and success that you are finding holes in your processes, right?
Oh yeah. And I'm an eternal learner. So I mean,
yeah,
I will always be on the calls because there's always something I can learn, and I like helping people too. So I like to contribute, but the lead tracker was a biggie for me. And then just trying to coordinate everything. And it really made me realize that I may need to go to the next level and hire an assistant, which is crazy to me. Because I've always been the assistant type person, being a transaction coordinator and helping other people. I've always been the person that people turn to. And now I need to turn to somebody for help.
Okay, good. Gina, would you repost the top 50 booklet, because there's a bunch of people that came on after and they say they're not seeing it in the link.
Yep,
Yes.
I'll do that.
So I want to take a couple of moments to address 2 things that Debbie sparked in my mind. And thank you, Debbie. You're always such a value on the calls, and we appreciate you being on. One is that I noticed when I rewatched it, because I rewatch them every Thursday to be ready for the call, even though I've watched them many times before. But something I noticed last night and this morning, I was rewatching one of the videos, is they keep referring to my new real estate career. Okay, I think that I'll ask them to the next time they upgrade Ramp that they eliminate that, because there are actually, statistically, we are looking at all the people that watch Ramp in our coaching program, and we have over 400 private coaching clients and over 4,000 people that are subscribing to the enterprise in Workman Success Systems. By far, the majority of people that take Ramp are existing agents who have had some measure of success in the past, that are taking it to have a kick in the pants and sort of reassess their business, what they're doing and not. So one of the things I noticed that the most on in this session, guys, was the first video, which these are all my scrappy notes, but let the world know you're in real estate. Do you know that there's never a time in your career, no matter what year number you are in, where it's not a good idea to let the world know you're in real estate? Okay. And Ryan just did that, right? What I told somebody this the other day, how often do you think of a damn attorney? When you need an attorney. Okay. When do you think of realtors? When you need a realtor. It doesn't, even my sisters, right? They were both caterers, and it would go several months before I'd get a referral. And I go, what's up? They're talking to people getting married all the time. So I'd go back to their office in person, and I'd take a stack of cards literally like this high, and I'd have it rubber banded. Now I'm talking about like 300 or 400 cards. And they'd go, I'd say, hey guys, I haven't had a referral in a while. What's going on? They go, oh, Rick, sorry, honey, we get busy, we forget. And I go, that's the absolute truth. We get busy. I'm not thinking that my brother is a realtor. I'm thinking that I'm a caterer and I need to close this damn wedding, right? So when you do that, like I used to do that to be silly. And I'd say, okay, I brought you a few business cards, and I'd reach into my briefcase. I said, to remind you to give me, and then I take out this big stack, and they just look at me and laugh. But see, in that moment, I was reminding them that you got it. So then I would just peel off a few and leave it with them. And every time I would do that, within 2 weeks, I'd have a referral from them every single time, because then they're cognizant of it again. So there's never a bad time to tell everybody in the world that you're in real estate. Okay. All right. So that's one thing. The other thing I want to touch on a little bit, which is sort of week 2 and week 1 information, is your SOI. Your sphere of influence. Gary Keller at Keller Williams Realty used to call it your Mets. He had it labeled as Mets and have not Mets. And Mets are people you've met, period. And have not Mets are people you haven't met. Now there's we're approaching 8 billion people on the planet. You know one tiny iota of them. The government says, the Census Bureau says that if you graduated from high school in the United States, the chance is you know 2,000 people by first name. Well, then if you do, why is the average real estate agent have 350 people on their SOI? Because you forgot how many people you knew. Okay? Here's one of the ways, the most ongoing thing in the rest of your career, and please take note, it's not in the videos, is what I'm about to tell you, is that you are constantly building your sphere of influence, meaning your entire database is a constant building item. You should add people you meet, okay? You should add people you forgot you knew. And how do you do that? You go back to your yearbooks. If you're anywhere near my age, one of the things I'm doing now is going back to my son's yearbooks, because my sons are 32 and 35. And when they were in high school, the same high school I went to, I would pay money to advertise in their yearbook. So I got a complimentary yearbook. So I'd go back. Now, what's going on? If you talk to 5 different lenders today, you know what they'll tell you? The majority of first-time home buyers are between 30 and 35. Both my sons are between 30 and 35. Every person in their yearbook is a potential buyer for me. And what else? We're all raised in the same community. The boys went to school, the same place I went to school. So when I see those boys, guess what I remember? Their parents are in their 60s. I got to call their parents too, because they're probably thinking of retiring. Or if they have a 2-story house, it's bad on their knees or their hips. Do you get what I'm going with right here? There's so many ways. So Ryan said, from my old job before I was selling real estate. So Ryan, how many people from your old job before you were selling real estate are not on your sphere of influence list?
Too many.
Yeah, good. But isn't it a new awareness, Ryan? Now you go, I don't think I need to cold call for a while. I think I need to just do a bunch of warm calls.
Even talking.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, even talking to the person I met with, he was helping me come up with more people to reach out to. He was doing my job for me.
Yeah. And dude, like, okay, so I'm going to tell you guys something off subject, but Gina thought of this. I used to, over the years, Gina wasn't even born for some of them, but Gina, my assistant, grew up with my sons. I met her when she was about 12. But when I was younger, I had these ladies that were specialists in ceramics, and they would make these ceramic cookie jars that were shaped like a Victorian home. And the roof was the lid. And inside the roof, it would say, compliments of Rick G. Ha, Realtor. Never mentioned a company ever, right? Because I didn't know what company I'd be with, but it was for me. And on the front door, on the ceramic front door of the steps up to the Victorian house, we would write the name of the husband and the wife, right? And that was a great, like, I would go back to list people's house many years later after I sold it to them, and that cookie jar would be right there, right? But Gina, a few years ago, said, Rick, I found the perfect closing gift, because those people that made those ceramic jars died, and we tried different things, Cutco stuff and everything. And Shauna says, I totally remember those, right? So Gina thought of this Harry and David gift. Now, $262 may be a lot depending on your price range where you sell. Not for a guy like Ryan or Randall where they sell, but for me, not either, because we're selling pretty expensive homes. But everybody gets a $262 gift. You know what it is? It's Harry and David fruit once a month for a year. Talk about a closing gift that gets it. We get text messages, we get emails, we get like, oh my God, Rick, I got plums this month, and that is like, so Ryan, when you close on this guy, you're going to close 2 deals, right? A purchase and a sale. So when we do something like that with people, we think of a second gift, but guess what they're going to remember? Every month they're going to get that fruit, right? We want to give him 2 gifts, Ryan, because he's going to close 2 deals with you, but you're not going to give him 2 sets of fruit. You're going to give him 1 set of fruit and then something else. But these are really good stuff because it's reinforcing to the client for over a year. If you're doing what you should be doing, which is checking in with them anyway, and they're getting the fruit, oh my God, they got realtor. And like I said last week, remember I talked about TOMA, top of mind awareness, top of mind awareness. If they're getting fruit from you every month and they're going to get maybe a handwritten note or a quick call, how's the house? Then you're doing great things. All right. Okay, so Debbie, thanks for those reminders. Who else wants to comment on frustrations? Randall, I can't thank you enough for being willing to be honest about the fact that you haven't finished your workbook. Anthony, you asked, what did Anthony ask? Let me see in the chat. Let's see. What did you ask, Anthony? I forgot, buddy.
I asked,
should I add my closed transactions to that? You should. It's a way of keeping track of the people, not so much the transaction, but the lead, and because it asks for your source of the lead and everything. But you've got to move those people when they're done into your big tracker. Is one of those people you close the transaction with somebody that's worthy of being in your top 50? Remember, guys, in your top 50, you always want to be what we call top grading. All right. That's not in the video. This is stuff. That's why I like coaching you guys on this. Top grading is all of a sudden you remember Jerry from school. Let's say that Ryan had already had a really great top 50. And what's the first name of the guy you just met with, Ryan, that's going to buy and sell?
Evan.
Evan?
Yep.
So Evan wasn't on the list, but now Ryan remembers to call Evan. They get an appointment. Now the guy's going to buy 2 homes from him. But what else did Ryan say? Ryan said he was trying to help him find other business. Well, I might look at my top 50 and look at, number 43, he hasn't been really responsible. I'm going to top grade and replace. If you heard Cleve Gaddis say in the video, he says, well, maybe it wasn't even Cleve. I think it was Paul Sessom said, never more than 50, never less than 50. It's always 50, right? Who are those? Now start to look at your top 50 as an exclusive club and who gets to get in it, right? So Evan earned his way in, and number 43, Joe's out because he doesn't talk to me. He doesn't return my calls, whatever. But top grade your top 50. Now Evan's in and Ryan's going to be thanking him. And in a little while, one of those guys that Ryan reminded him to call, he's going to end up doing some real estate. So I'm going to go give Evan a nice big hug virtually or with a gift or take him out to lunch or whatever. Remember this about top 50. My sphere of influence, ladies and gentlemen, gets 2 emails every month. My entire sphere, 10,000 people. I don't know if it's that much, but it's close. 2 emails a month. But that's a lot of them are real estate agents because I got a lot of referrals from real estate agents. But the top 50 gets so much more than that. That's the in-person visit, the phone call, the handwritten note, more often than your sphere of influence, okay? So that's the whole thing. But what I want you to do is think about, is my sphere of influence not near as big as it could be? And I got to dedicate some time every once in a while. And by the way, guys, that time you dedicate to building your sphere of influence from people you knew before that you forgot you knew should be done early in the morning or late at night, not during major business hours, because that's a clerical duty, not a lead generation duty. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody? So you got to look around. If your parents are older, of course they're older than you, but I mean up there or grandparents, guess what they used to use? Address books. Call them up, say, you got any old address books laying around? Go through them. When my first wife and I got married, we called our parents and our grandparents and aunts and uncles and said, could we borrow your address book? They all had address books, right? That was the 70s and 80s. And we would go through that and go, who's in here that we forgot that we should invite to our wedding? Right? Now you look at your mom and dad or your aunt and uncle or your grandmother. Some of you are young. Debbie, you're young. Is your grandmother still living? No? Grandma's not living? Grandpa?
I just turned 51. Both of my grandmothers are
Oh, you don't look 51. Okay. Yeah, but think about whose address book you could borrow. Maybe some really great friend that you grew up with and their parents are still living, right? Say, hey, let's get your mom and dad's address book out. I need to check some things out, right?
Hey, Rick, I have a question on that.
Yes, Carolyn Howard, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Where are you, by the way, geographically, Carolyn?
San Diego. Ryan's actually my fiance, so we're in the same room.
Are you in the same house right now?
We're in the same office, yeah. We're just sitting at different desks.
All right. No fraternizing during the call.
Nope, we're here.
I'm kidding. Okay, go ahead.
So I didn't grow up in San Diego. So
Okay.
most of my sphere is still back in the Midwest. And I just have a question, like, worth it, not worth it? How much effort to put on, you know, parents, friends, that kind of stuff for referrals? Because the price point there is way lower. And I'm searching for business not in my area. You know, I've been here for on and off for like 11 years. So I've got some sphere here, but not as much as I have there, or like for your suggestion for grandparents and stuff. Just curious.
Yes. Definitely they may not necessarily show up on your top 50, but they got to show up in your sphere of influence. Okay? It's about telling the world, because you never know who knows who. You don't know their database. You know her because she's on your database, but you don't know her database. Remember this is true in network marketing for sure. And it's really big in real estate, is you're not looking for that person, you're looking for that person's network. All right. So like right now, your future husband made a great example when he said, I got him, he didn't even say it, but he got him so excited. He got Evan so excited. Evan's going, well, who else should we talk to? Like Evan's now involved in the game.
Yeah.
Because he was just thinking, Ryan was just thinking, oh, I'll call Evan. I don't know why I haven't called him. And what was Evan thinking? Oh, I should open up my network to Ryan.
Yeah.
Right. Guys, your win in real estate is getting people to open their network to you. That's why when, Brian Buffini made these housewarming parties really popular. Before Brian, there was a guy named Joe Stump. That's where Brian Buffini got his ideas, from a guy named Joe Stump. By the way, there's no original ideas, guys. I mean, they're all out there. But the idea was, Carolyn, you went to your client, you said, thanks so much for closing with me. Listen, you're going to do a housewarming party anyway. Let me sponsor it. Okay. And you say, me and my lender, not just you, and my home warranty person and my title person, we'll all get together and we'll bring all of the drinks, non-alcoholic drinks, and we'll take care of inviting your friends for you. Why do you want to invite their friends? Because they're going to have to give you all their names, email addresses, and phone numbers, right? Then you're going to be there and you can say, or I did it where when I was doing it, I haven't done one in ages before Gina, but I would say, I'll buy the meats, right? You worry about barbecuing, getting that, giving me your list. But what we would do is everyone would get invited by me. Hey, come to your friend's housewarming party. But they would be on the email. The buyer that I sold the house to would be on the email so they can see that this is legitimate. Well, guess where I'd be at the open house? I mean, at the housewarming party, I'd be there shaking hands, kissing babies, guys, shaking hands and kissing babies. All right. Don't shake babies and kiss hands. It doesn't work. I tried that once. I knew Teresa would get a kick out. So, but you're there and you're saying, oh, it's so great to meet you. I remember what you said on the, and what are you doing? You're building your sphere of influence. You're building, and then you're going to top grade into your top 50. The main reason I bring this up is people focus so much on the top 50, but you've got to realize that the top 50 is a subset of your existing sphere of influence. And the more you grow your SOI or your sphere of influence or your database or your network, the better quality people you have to pick from to have a great top 50. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, great. Okay. Good stuff, guys. I really like the participation today. Let me see. Oh, shoot. I've got 11 new messages. Oh, Gina put in. Geez, I love Gina. Don't you guys all love Gina? Let's all stop and give her a round of applause, please. She's amazing. She's a new mom. She has the most amazing little baby. That's my nephew. Not technically.
Thank you.
Yes. So, all right. So let's see. Oh, Gina, look at all the nice comments there. Take a picture of that. Yeah. So, and Debbie, for someone like Debbie who moved just a couple hundred miles away in the same state, man, it's even more important to stay in touch with those people because they might move up and retire to where Debbie is, or they might know people moving there. Debbie might know people moving to closer to them. You got to do that. But Carolyn, here's the main thing. if you're not teaching the people that were family and friends how to send you referrals, then you're failing your SOI. We always used to say you've got to educate them as to what to do. So when I can remember it like it was yesterday, it was 1995, and I got a call from someone who I'd sold their home in 1991, and they moved to Boca Raton, Florida. And I just called on a follow-up call. Ken, how you doing? Ken, like, he was always one of my favorite clients. He goes, I'm doing great. We're thinking of moving from Boca Raton to, and I think he said Orlando or something. And I said, oh, great. I said, I have a network there. And he said, what? I said, I have a network of realtors that work with me. And he goes, you sell real estate in California? I said, I know, but our network is worldwide. You know the network I was talking about, guys? That's called the National Association of Realtors, right? Exclusive network, very few members. But why did I say that? Because I wanted to earn the referral to send him from Boca Raton, right? I missed it when I sold his home because he had already been to Boca Raton, met an agent, right, and was using him, but I wasn't going to miss this one, right? So you just have to, be on top of it. If you teach them that you can also refer them part of your exclusive network. And I used to use WCR. I'm a big member of, I have been a member of Women's Council of Realtors for over 30 years, or I could use CRS. I am a certified residential specialist. Those are all designations, but now you've got your company, your EXP. You can just find another EXP agent. I've always been big on my referrals about the person, not the company they were with. And you can even vet people for your clients if you want. So just another idea, but Carolyn, yeah, keep them on your SOI, but you never know if they're one of those top 50 and they send you a referral for what state, by the way, Carolyn?
Ohio.
Ohio, yeah, where the average sale price is $82.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if they send you one of those, it's still worthy of congratulating, thanking them. And then you're going to get a little referral fee, but you're building up more and more networks of people who appreciate you. Do you get that?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. Okay. So Debbie, real quick, talk to me a little bit about that last text you put in the chat.
Oh, that was about hiring an assistant.
Okay.
I can take on a ton of responsibility. In fact, I was a transaction coordinator for a gentleman that did 82 transactions last year. And he pretty much would say, write me a listing agreement for this address, and I would do the rest.
Yeah.
So I can take on a lot, 20 to 25 transactions at a time. However, while I'm doing that, I can't pursue business for myself.
Yeah.
So I am at the point where, in order for me to get the growth that I want for my business, I need to have someone helping me with that. I can't do it all myself, although in my head, I kind of think I can.
Yeah.
Because I'm a perfectionist. I'm a Virgo. I want everything just so, and I'm like, forget it, I'll just do it.
Yep.
And so I have to let go of some of that control, and I have to allow somebody to come help me with some of the things, such as posting my videos on social media, doing the things that maybe I'm not as good at because I am excellent at the paperwork side. I need that balance. I need someone to help me. I need extra hours. Okay,
good. So one of the things that you're going to want to do is watch the AMP videos that you have access to now, so that you know, right? But I was talking to a kid yesterday that's just joining. He's 22 years old. He worked 2 years before he was licensed with a top producing agent from across the bay in the San Mateo, Burlingame area. And he said that she averaged, for many, many years, her average length of an assistant staying with her was 18 to 20 months. And I don't know if you guys know this, but the average length for an assistant in a real estate business is less than 2 years. Gina's been with me 6. No, 5, a little over 5. And I don't think, as far as I'm concerned, she's it for me for the rest of my career. However, the reason it's that is because there is a system and a model for everything, even on how to hire and what are the activities. So that's not part of this class, but I can tell you, Debbie, if you remind me, it'll take me a few days. I'll find an email and forward it to you that has a lot of the stuff about hiring and firing admin and how to do that. We call it in the Workman Success systems a CCC, a client care coordinator, but call it what you want. And I would literally be dead in the grass if it wasn't for Gina. And even when she was on maternity leave, she maintained listing coordination, which is one of my biggest stresses, is the coordinator of the listings. Her two biggest jobs are listing coordination and lead coordination, right? Making sure the leads get distributed to the right people and following up on them, and making sure that the agents are following up on the agents, making sure the agents are following up on the leads. But everybody has different issues that they need handled at different places in their career, right? So you probably don't need a lead coordinator, but you certainly are going to need a listing coordinator and a social media person, but that can all be the same person. So, okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Now, a couple other things. They did talk in one of them about something that I wanted to address for you newer people in the business is she talked a lot about your team and your company and making sure that you're using that. So I have a lot of newer people on my real estate sales team, but when they go to talk to somebody, they go, yes, I'm on the Rick GR real estate team, and on the team, we have over 100 years of combined residential real estate sales experience. Okay. So you don't have to be mentioning how long you've been in the business. Attach it from an I to a we. In the state of California, by the way, and I know not all of you are in California, but in the state of California, and I think that's the law pretty much in most states, is that you are not actually doing the transaction. The brokerage is, right? So even when I was at my uncle's brokerage, it was just at the time he had been really big before I got into real estate, because he opened his brokerage in 71. And he had about 80 people in the office. And when I got in there in 1980, there was only about 6 or 7. But my uncle had already been in business 20 years in the real estate industry, right? So I say, oh, I work for Good Real Estate. Bill Boomrod is my broker and my uncle. And between us, we have all over 20 years combined residential real estate experience. So use that as a way of helping you over your issues about how new you are, because most of the issues about how new you are not from the consumer, they're from yourself. Okay, so get to know that. All right. Really, your criticism of yourself is really the biggest objection to get over at any time you're going to talk to clients. So, all right. I did want to talk about the scrolls, the greatest sales. Does everybody have one now or getting one? Is one on the way? April, you're nodding. Do you have it with you? Show your book. There you go. Good job. So I love that Verl's big on this, is on relating these to the chapter that we're in. And scroll mark number 9, which is chapter 16, page 93. Thanks, Chadwick. CC the man. All right. What's that say behind you? Is that, what's it say besides EXP on there?
That's the Raymond team.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You're in San Luis Obispo County, California.
The slow life. Love it. Okay.
Slow life.
All right. My dreams are worthless. My plans are dust. My goals are impossible. All are of no value unless they're followed by action. I will act now. I'm going to skip to one because they talked about procrastination in this chapter. Starts with, I will act now. My procrastination, which has held me back, was born of fear, and now I recognize this secret mined from the depths of all courageous hearts. Now I know that to conquer fear, I must always act without hesitation, and the flutters in my heart will vanish. Now I know that action reduces the line of terror to an ant of equanimity. I don't know how many times I have to turn that volume off. I will act now. Henceforth, I remember the lessons of the firefly, who gives of its light only when it's on the wing, only when it is in action. I will become a firefly, and even in the day, my glow will be seen in spite of the sun. Let others be as butterflies who preen their wings, yet depend on the charity of a flower for life. I will be as the firefly, and my light will brighten the world. It's important that you go that way. There's that you understand that. And we talked about it like just a few minutes ago with Ryan. Sometimes action begets belief. Sometimes belief begets actions. And sometimes you have to borrow others' belief in you. Okay. One of the things I noticed about Casey is that she believed more in my abilities than I did in my abilities. And that's one of the things that attracted me to her. She always said, I see you bigger than you see yourself. So those are things that you want to surround yourself, like Ryan, Carolyn, I don't know you two, but she seems like she would be a great support system for you. Like, Ryan, I know you can do this. Ryan, I know you're more capable than what your results have shown up till now.
She supports me more than anyone else in the world.
Good reason to marry her. By the way, guys, a successful relationship is built on an equal amounts of support and challenge. Keep that in mind, okay? So challenge is asked, Carolyn. Okay, sorry, you too, Ryan, you too, not just Carolyn. All right, so, but there is something that I want to comment that's in a different chapter. It's scroll mark number 8, which the main heading on that is today I will multiply my value 100-fold, because I wanted this, I think this is a good point to put it in. I will always, let me see if there's one thing before it. Today I will multiply my value 100-fold. I will commit not the terrible crime of aiming too low. I will do the work that a failure will not do. I will always let my reach exceed my grasp. All right. This is my grasp, what I can grasp with my hand. My reach can be much further than that. I will never be content with my performance in the market. Pay attention to these. That one starts on page 91, by the way. Now listen to this part. This is where we go. I will always raise my goals as soon as they are attained. And then the next one says, I will always strive to make the next hour better than this one. I will always announce my goals to the world. Yet, never will I proclaim my accomplishments. Let the world instead approach me with praise, and may I have the wisdom to receive it in humility. I love that one. It ends with today, I will multiply my value 100-fold. At some point we will get to that chapter, but I thought it related to today because look, you're going to start having victories, right? You don't want to announce it to the world. You want to announce it to us. You want to keep it here. We're all going to support. I don't go out into the world. Never on my Facebook do I say, hey, I did 100 million this year. This year, me and my team are on track to do 100 million. I've never done that in my life. Who am I sharing it with? My colleagues, not the world. Do you get that? I share it where it's safe, where it's not about me being bigger or better than anyone else. It's just about me reaching a goal I've had for years, right? Brian, your example set the tone for the call today, right? And not a lot of you are speaking up or mentioning. I see a lot of comments, but we have a few more minutes, and I want to ask you to tell me about the frustrations and where you are. Like Debbie said, I just started week 2 this week. It's okay. It's okay. But get caught up as soon as you can and however you can. And on my Free Friday coaching call today, it was a call. We talked about where are you prioritizing things? How are you getting things into your calendar? And where are you wasting time or losing time? And we used it in light of the fact that, guys, we're coming up on the holiday season. We're still in September, but people are already planning. Like, I love when I see what is today? So September 14th, I was going to my wife's parents' house, and the house down the street had this huge dragon on the roof. It was one of those blow up, but it had lights in it and the wings moved up and down. It was gorgeous. But I'm like, wow, we're well over a month and a half from Halloween. Okay. So just keep in mind that everything that is important to you must be prioritized. If this program is important to you, it must be prioritized. And it's throwing your habits in your face on a daily basis. Okay. All right. Now, this will cause people to drop off the call. We had 48 or so people on the first call, then we had over 60 last week. And here we are in the third week, and we're down to 40. Not good, bad, right, or wrong. I'm doing the call either way. And I am paying attention that a lot of people are watching the recording of the call. Maybe they got busy. Maybe they had a listing appointment, which would be the best reason, or a buyer appointment. But either way, this is your chance to become the biggest and best version of yourself. All right. Okay. Who else has something to comment on and anything that happened this week? I do have one 7-minute thing I want to do, and I want to get to it, but I want it to end the call with it. And that's the review of week 3. Okay.
I'll go.
So who was that? Somebody
Mike.
else have?
Yeah, Mike.
Mike Deblat?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I can hear you, but I'll find your face. There you are.
How's it going? No, I've been doing some things, weekly or different tasks that I do every week. But once I started actually tracking my times on like the, every 30 minutes or whatever, it was cool to see, like, it's gonna sound bad, but I'm not working as much as I think I'm working.
Yes, that's where the truth is. None of us are.
Yeah.
None of
So
us are.
yeah, I mean, like I'm still a decent amount, but I'm just spread a couple different ways. But like on my real estate stuff, I feel like I'm working more, or I guess prospecting is the,
Yeah.
Well, and I remember last year you said something about like when you change your habits and just weird things happen or whatever. So since we've started this program, I put 3 deals in escrow, and I haven't really changed anything, but it's just like, I don't know. I started like literally the week 1 of this program, I got from contacts that week, I got 3 deals.
Nice. So I'm going to show you guys something. And if I can copy it into the chat, I will. But you're absolutely right. I did talk about that last year, and I talk about it almost all the time. And I want to show a very famous quote from a man named William H. Murray. And let me do it this way. Providence. Okay, got it right here. Hold on. Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay, so, and I'm going to read it to you, and I'm going to put it in the chat. And you can Google it. If you just Google the word providence, it'll show up. But look at, I'm putting it in the chat right now. Okay. And let's see. It says, until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and spended pans. By the way, Mike, what he's talking about right there, it is kind of older English, is that once you've decided you're going to do something different, it's like when people start lead generating for the first time with consistency, all of a sudden stuff that's coming to their business that had nothing to do with their lead generation. Like it was not a direct result of the lead generation, but it's energy. That's what this guy's talking about. It's energy. When you say, I'm going for this, and you put in what they call business energy and you go after it, the universe is actually witnessing your integrity. I said I would do this, and now I'm doing it, and it sends you rewards. And I get pretty emotional about that stuff because it's been proven over and over again that your intention and the work that you do as a result of your intention is going to bring you rewards from all. That's what it says. Is the moment that one definitely commits oneself. What have you guys committed to? Watching the videos and doing the homework assignments, right? Then providence moves to. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. Mike, it's the exact example you're talking about. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one favors all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which no man could have dreamed would have come his way. Whatever you can do or dream, you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now. This is probably one of the ones that I've used over and over again, that and Marianne Williamson's poem about not playing small. But I got to tell you guys, I'm so glad, Mike, you brought that up. You're going to do things and you're going to say, well, this had really nothing to do with me watching the video, but the energy goes into the universe. I use the universe and I use God simultaneously, but it's rewards that come as a result of you doing what you said you do, period. All right. All right. Good job, Mike. Thanks for making that comment. Guys, please don't be shy. Please participate because we get more out of that. So get it out of the text group. But if you just Google the word providence, you'd be surprised. William H. Murray's quote will probably come up. It's really powerful. Okay. Real quick, we'll end with this. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and let me pull it up here real quick. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Share my screen. Share sound and optimize for video clip. Share. Oops. Stop share. I know. Call me silly. There we go. Okay. So we're going to play this.
For I know that tomorrow never comes.
Can you guys all see it and hear it? Thumbs up. Okay. And I know you would have watched this if you got to the end, but I just want you to hear Verl's recap.
I will act now. I will act now. I will act now. One of my favorite scrolls. Well, guess what? You've made it. It's week 3. It's in the books and you're done. By now, you should be powering through the assignments right at the conclusion of each video session. Scroll 9 of The Greatest Salesman in the World says, I will act now. I will not avoid the tasks of today and charge them to tomorrow, for I know that tomorrow never comes. Let me act now, even though my actions may not bring happiness or success, for it is better to act and fail than not to act and flounder. So my question to you is, are you acting now? Are you taking the day by the horns and challenging yourself to do what's needed to get your job done? You know, it's only through your actions and your commitment that you will truly become the master of your craft in real estate. Don't let yourself or your accountability partner down by procrastinating or putting things off till tomorrow. Simply just act. In the first session this week, we introduce you to a script we call Forward. This dialogue is perfect when you are talking to people you don't know that well and you haven't spoken to in a while. And so if you remember the letters in Ford, you know, what does Ford stand for? Just think about the letters: family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. If you find yourself unsure of what to say with someone that you're calling or even at a general gathering, just lean on the Ford dialogue. Make sure that you take detailed notes when you go through the script, and then next time you talk to them, you'll have a quick reminder of what you spoke about. They'll tell you about their family, their occupation, their recreation, or what they're most passionate about, their dreams. And then you'll be chatting just like your old friends. So now you've reconnected with your top 50 by making those daily calls. It's critical to manage these folks and keep your name at the front of their mind. See, if you use the top 50 tab of your SOI tracker, you'll be able to see that all of your people are getting some kind of personal touch every single month from you. And all you have to do is make that one phone call or write that one personal message or have that one face-to-face meeting every single day. Believe me, you can do this. And when you do, you'll realize the result is because of your action. Have you thought about what your client appreciation is going to be like or what you're going to do? If you haven't already, I'd like you to take a few minutes and think about what you might like to do for all of your clients and start just writing those ideas down. It's always a great time to celebrate with past clients and new faces, and there's no downside to an event. We like to say that events drive revenue, and so when you put your client event together, it's a win-win for everyone. Finding your mentor is critical to helping you achieve your goals. You know, believe it or not, shadowing a high-producing agent that emulates the type of agent that you want to be is one of the quickest ways to learn. I like to say that the best teacher of real estate is the game. So if you haven't already done this, use the dialogue that we gave you and then find someone to be your real mentor. You never know what someone is willing to do until you ask them. If you have successfully found your mentor, then congratulations, that's awesome. Now make sure you just honor their time and yours by being a respectful listener. We wrapped up this week with the Lp Mam Script, one of the most powerful scripts in real estate. The letters LP, MAAM stand for location, price, motivation, working with an agent, set the appointment, which is the most important part of the script, and then qualify for a mortgage. This script is perfect for talking to new clients to find out where they are and what phase they are in their real estate journey, and then how you can be of service to them while honoring their timing. However, having the script spelled out for you in your workbook isn't any good at all if you don't use it. You have to practice. Repetition creates mastery. True mastery of any craft usually comes after thousands of hours of practice. So use the Lp Mam Script to work on becoming the master of your scripts and dialogues, and then deliberately practice. And that's what creates this hands-on application of the tools and the systems. practice, practice, practice. So I'd like you to go out and find somebody in your office. It could be your mentor, another agent that's at the same level you are, and then get on our Facebook page and find someone that's in the same boat as you. Practice truly does make perfect. Before you start week 4, you need to make sure that you've finished all the assignments and the homework so far.
Okay. I want to talk really quickly about the LP Mam script. It used to be called LP Mama. And the reason we've changed it is because the times are changing. The LP Mama script was the word appointment was at the very end, right? And I've talked to a lot of agents about this recently, just one-on-one conversations. And remember, you have your own beliefs, do what you want. But we've noticed that the market has changed considerably and that all that enthusiastic buyer that you connected with through either an online lead or whatever just wants to go see the damn home, right? And what do we want? We want them to be pre-approved before we see the home, but we're in a different era. You guys got to remember, I came from an era where you didn't send the guy to the lender to get pre-approved. You pre-approved them at your desk. You asked them what their total debt was. You asked them what their, all of these things, and you did the ratios yourself. And then you go, oh, your ratios are 41/51. And yeah, I think we can get you a loan here. I'll send you to my lender. It's much more stay in your own lane right now, but people know what they're qualified for now and know their comfort zone in the tune to 99.5% of the people that are getting anxious about a home on the internet that you might come across. So the reason they changed it and put mortgage last and appointment before that was because usually you're able to build a relationship by simply getting them out to see that one home. Remember your personal safety and security, maybe meet them for the first time at a Starbucks or something where there's a lot of other people milling around. And then don't go alone if you feel like there's a safety issue. And then definitely maybe set up one, hey, oh, because you got that, because you love that one, I've set up this one other one. Would you like to go see it? More of a surprise. If they don't want to see it, no problem, call and cancel the appointment. But it really does work to get them out into the property, and let them feel your loyalty and honesty that way. And it works really well. Like I said, it used to be called LP Mama, now it's called LP Mam, and it's because of that change in the way buyers are acting out in the world today. So I wanted you to know that. I don't like to play the videos because I want to encourage you to watch them, but I always like for all of us to hear Verl's wrap up. There wasn't a lot more on there. There was some more stuff about week 4, but we'll worry about that later. But definitely, guys, please use this as a way, as sort of a kick in the pants to make sure that by the time we get to week 4 that you're caught up. And it's okay if you're not. Remember, if you had trouble with the business plan, it's okay. We're going to do it on October 1st on my free Friday coaching call. You can jump on there and use that as the impetus to finish. You're not going to finish it in that 1 hour necessarily, but you're going to have more of some real solid information about what to think and how to use that mindset to get that business plan workbook done. All right. Thank you guys very much. It's at 11 o'clock. I appreciate you all very much. And we'll see you next Friday at 10 a.m. Take care in the meantime.
Thanks, Rick. Have a good day.
Thank
All right.
you.
Bye, everybody. Be good.
Bye.